Ronnie comes back and Caitlin's not expecting it, but obviously she's thrilled to see him. I mean, they have a really deep, special connection, and there's no telling where it will go.
We got a sense that perhaps when he comes back, it might be a little bit more tragedy infused this time around. Is it going to be more joyful, or is there going to be a hint of sadness?
When Ronnie comes back?
Yeah.
I mean, Ronnie comes back toward the end of our season, and it's a very dramatic ending. So there's a little bit of everything. There's joy, obviously, to see each other, but the circumstances around their reunion are not very joyful, so you get to see them dealing with a lot of that stuff.
Fun playing the moments like when Caitlin makes excuses for Barry's weird behavior.
Yes, it's so fun. And it's such a treat. Obviously, most of my work is with Carlos and Tom and Grant. And, it's nice to see Rick on set and see Candice and get to work with them. And I love how much Caitlin really looks out for Barry and how, she's a doctor and she's interested in taking care of people and saving people, and she gets to do that with him a lot. It's great.
How did you keep a straight face when they came with that lightning analysis of how he was freaking out and having these emotional spasms?
It was really fun. I loved it, and that's sort of the comedy in it, is keeping the straight face, but also, there's some really nice moments between Caitlin and Barry, when she's like, yeah, remember, like I said, and it sort of, it gets to explain why he's spending so much time at Star Labs, and, it's great. I also love Eddie's enthusiasm, to give him a big hug. It's so great. He starts running at him, and Barry's like, oh God, is he going to punch me again? Oh no, oh no. It's fun. It was really fun.
There's going to be a lot of drama coming up with Harrison Wells. Can we talk about Caitlin's involvement in any of that?
Sure, absolutely. I mean, as an audience member, we know more than most of the characters. There was a moment where I had to stop and say, wait, does Caitlin know this information yet, or is this news to her? So, it's tough to sort of walk that line sometimes, but obviously Joe is very skeptical of Harrison, and as we saw at the end of 17, Barry is starting to become skeptical as well. So they've got to find more information, and as they do, it's sort of this question of, well, what if Caitlin and Cisco are in league with Harrison Wells, and can they be trusted? And if they can, how are they going to take this information? And obviously Caitlin believes so faithfully in Harrison Wells that she was willing to follow him back to Star Labs even after the particle accelerator explosion. So, she has a pretty grandiose idea of who he is. So to suggest that he is anything but this heroic figure will be very difficult for her to take.
So is it fair to say there's going to be some conflict within the team?
Absolutely, yeah. They're really going to be tested and challenged, and Caitlin especially is going to struggle with it.
What does Caitlin think of Ray Palmer?
I think Caitlin loves Ray Palmer. I may be biased because I love Brandon Routh, and it was such a treat to work with him. I think Cisco and Ray Palmer are going to geek out a little bit more together, but I think Caitlin, is excited to see him. Nice to meet him. Fun to have more people in Star Labs.
Would we get a chance to see Caitlin and Eddie scene? Because now that he kind of knows who Barry's secret identity is, maybe that would include him more in their world.
Yes, there is some interaction between Caitlin and Eddie, not as much as I would like, but yes, they definitely, do come together.
I just think that dialogue would be really interesting, because before she was always so cautious around him, and now she has free reign to talk to him, that they could actually share something.
But it's also a little bit scary too, because you think, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. You've been so comfortable, with the people in Star Labs, and, it's scary to see what you have to do next.
Well, Eddie also looks like he might be kind of having some issues from the previews we've seen. We can't imagine why he's shooting any cops. So maybe he himself may not be so warm and fuzzy for a while.
Yes, there will be, I think it's episode 19, that a lot of things get shaken up. A lot of people.
Is it like an identity crisis?
I mean, if Harrison Wells is not the perfect, incredible, life-changing human being, then what does that mean to the rest of Caitlin's reality and, Cisco's reality too?
So they're going to be finding out possibly Dr. Harrison Wells is not who he said he is.
I mean, it's going to be, I feel like Joe and Barry are pretty good detectives. They're going to do their best to figure it out.
Is there a DC Comics character you would love to see on the show at some point?
I I'm not as well versed in them as I should be. I have to say, I love it when Captain Cold comes to visit, which I shouldn't say because he's evil, but, you know, we'll see him toward the end of the season, and you have to see Caitlin come face to face with him and not be very thrilled to see him again, which is great. It's really fun to play that.
Which of the upcoming episodes is your favorite?
There's a lot of them. I think 19 is a really great episode for Caitlin specifically. You get to see Caitlin and Barry interact a little bit more, and you know, you really get to see her struggle as she's learning more about what's actually going on. So I think 19 is going to be great. 22 is huge. I can't really say.
Well, what kind of friendship do Caitlin and Cisco have? It seems like, again, they're having like movie nights and TV nights.
I think it's very brother-sister. Like, I think it's there's so much loyalty between them, and I think they really do love each other so much. It's that thing of, you know, I feel like she would do anything for him.
Do you think they try to get friends outside the office? I mean, you spend all day with these people. Why didn't you have some friends?
It's true. I'm sure they do. We probably just, you know, this is called the Flash.
How excited do you get when you read each new script, I should say?
Oh, I can't wait. I'm like hunting them down and, you know, trying to figure out, so, where is it? What's happening? I can't wait. And there are things that I don't expect, you know, and as much as Andrew can tell us what might be happening and what they're thinking of, you know, there's a huge moment in 23 that I wasn't expecting at all, and I texted Andrew, I was like, really? You didn't think to tell me about this? So it's fun. I'm an audience member in that way as well. I just get sneak peek. I get to know the information a little bit sooner.
What was it like having Mark Hamill up on set a few weeks ago?
It was so cool. Unfortunately, we didn't interact that much, but I got to meet him at the table read, which was great. I think it's crazy. Like, Luke Skywalker is going to come play on our show. I feel that way all the time, though. Having Victor on the show, having Wentworth, it's like, really? You want to come hang out with us and make our show? It's such a compliment.
Who got the most starstruck when Mark Hamill was around? Was there anyone that sort of really geeked out?
I think Andrew Kreisberg geeked out just on the idea of it coming. I can't remember anyone in particular. We all were pretty excited, to be honest.
Your character undergoes some pretty significant changes in the comic books. Are we going to see any hint of that anytime soon?
Absolutely, sooner than you think.
Okay.